Spoiler alert! We'll be talking about parts 1 and 2 of Diana Gabaldon's Written in My Own Heart's Blood, so if you haven't read it yet, come on back later when you have.
Hi everyone!
Hi everyone!
I'm Carol.
And I'm Tracey.
And we are My
Outlander.
Purgatory.
Oh, very good. Good timing. So how is everyone? So we have a very funny story for you. I know it's been a long time. And it shouldn't have been so long. We're still crying a little inside.
Oh, don't even remind me. I can't even talk about it.
I know. We actually were a half hour into, like, an epic video. A video of epic proportions.
It might have been the best ever.
It might have been the best ever. It was, like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago at our nephew's graduation. It was, like, poolside at third sister Jill's house, which always is, like, means, A, the alcohol is flowing, and B, our mouths are flowing.
And it was just like the Jamie Fraser's birthday video. And we're in hysterics.
And then what happened was, if you ever try, because we were using Photo Booth, and if you ever are filming something on Photo Booth and then happen to click like one of the photos that you already have at the bottom, it doesn't save the video. Just FYI. We were like, what? And we were so depressed that like we didn't have the heart to do it anymore. It was just like whatever. But we're back. We're back, y'all. We're back. So, and schlanty. So anyway, we're gonna try to condense like 30 minutes of awesomeness into 5 minutes of super awesomeness. Okay. So I think when we were talking before, where are you going? Oh, what up? Nice. Okay. So I know you can show yours. Okay. So we haven't talked to you guys since obviously the book came out. And I think that we do need to talk a little bit about what we found the morning. It was like Christmas morning, you guys. It was like Santa came and brought something, only it was inside my Kindle.
And you and I have not discussed, not to look a gift horse in the mouth, but now every time I try to sync my iPad with my Kindle, I end up at the back of the book. Do you have that? Has that happened to you?
Oh, I haven't really tried to do that yet, but yeah, I know what you mean. So, okay, so, it was in my Kindle, I get up, 6:30, whatever. I didn't look at it right away, because obviously I did get ready for work. I was going to start reading it. And I see a tweet that was like, oh my God, you guys are in the acknowledgements. And I was like, what? So we go on, turn to the back of the book, and I cry right there in my pajamas. Right there in my pajamas.
And I get a text that says, I think we're going to Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Because, we had tickets for this Philadelphia signing, but, like, life was just crazy at the time for both of us. And, like, people were sort of not able to go that we were looking forward to seeing. So we were like, I don't know. It's going to be really hard. It's midweek. I have to take a day off of work. I'm really busy. Carol has to, like, leave the kids. Whatever. Should we do it? Well, yeah. Once we opened the book and saw page 833, it was like, yeah, we need to go. Yeah, this is totally happening. What was your reaction, Carol? I cried in my pajamas sitting on my bed.
Okay. Let me just go over very quickly because I was
read it. You have the book there. Read it. Read what it says. It just for like the two people that are watching this video that are like, "What are you talking about?"
What page did you say it was? I don't even like to glance at this stuff.
833. Not like I saw the book in Target and opened it up and read it live like that.
I'm cracking up because I had the jacket stuck in that page.
So read what it says.
Okay. Carol and Tracey of My Outlander Purgatory for their lovely photos of the battlefield at Paoli, which drew my attention to the rebel rallying cry, remember Paoli, and the discovery of Lord John's unpopular cousin. Now, I have to back her up a little bit here because she's almost giving credit where it isn't due. Let me just tell the quick story of how this happened.
Okay.
In An Echo in the Bone, there is a paragraph that mentions the Battle of Paoli. I don't know that it would have been called the Paoli Massacre, but she mentioned the Battle of Paoli because I blogged about it and I was like, oh my God, she mentioned Paoli because Tracey and I are from Paoli.
Right. We grew up in Paoli.
We grew up in Paoli, Pennsylvania, which borders Valley Forge.
Right.
And so that was it. But there was a mention in that paragraph, if you go back to Echo, about, gosh, I don't even know what his name is at this point. Captain Gray.
Charles Gray.
What?
Charles Gray.
Was it Charles? Yeah.
I think it's Charles.
So at this point, I think maybe Karen Henry might have posted something about Paoli, mentioning Paoli as well. Mm-hmm. So then I said, I'm going. So a friend of mine, I have friends who still live in Paoli. So I grabbed the kids one day when they had a day off, and we get in the car, and we go pick up my friend Anne, and we go, it's actually now Malvern, Pennsylvania. But at the time, it was all, I knew so much of this when we actually did the first video, and now I can't even remember. Anyway, I want to say maybe Whiteland. I think it was all considered.
Whatever.
Okay, sorry. I want to be historically accurate because people get mad. They get mad at me when I say Fraser.
Yeah, but you were like, this part can be 5 minutes long, Tracy. 5 minutes long.
So, long story short, I take my friend Anne and my kids, and we go to the Paoli battlefield. And we take pictures. No. And we take pictures, and it's just so moving. It was very quiet and peaceful, and there are birds chirping, and it's a very, very moving spot. And I took a lot of pictures, and I came home, and I blogged. And I did a lot of research into the Battle of Paoli and how they were snuck up on in the middle of the night, and they were told to take the flints out of their muskets so they couldn't accidentally go off, and blah, blah, blah. But one thing that I found when I did some research was that their battle cry at that point became "Remember Paoli," because it was just so disgusting the way they were snuck up on in the middle of the night. The flints out of the muskets was what did it, because they were trying very hard to sneak up on them and kill them. And long story short, the United States battle cry for like 50 years after that was "Remember Paoli." And I couldn't believe it. We never learned about this in school. Right. We never went to the Paoli battleground when I was there. So I came home, I blog about it, and I'm thinking nothing. And then out, 4 years later, this was 4 years ago, out come the acknowledgments mentioning this blog post and the pictures, and that Diana had seen Remember Paoli, and then she probably went and did some research too, and now there is a chapter written in My Own Heart's Blood entitled Remember Paoli.
Right. And we are, before we go any further in the video, spoiler alert, we're through part 1, so we're going to be talking about that. Are you through part 2 yet? I have a few more chapters in part 2, but you can put text in the beginning, right? I can do what?
You can put some text in the beginning of the whole video that says spoilers.
Yeah. So parts 1, let's say parts 1 and 2, we're going to be talking about that. So like whatever. So we'll see you later if you haven't read that yet.
Lord.
Okay. So we're reading part 1, and it's like, oh my God, like Remember Paoli is all through this. But we'll get to that. Because, again, let's back time it a little bit. So, anyway, okay. So, we're in the acknowledgments. Just so unbelievable. So grateful and, humbled. And, we're not worthy. We're not worthy. Diana, we're not worthy. But just so wonderful. So, yes. So, we did go to the Philadelphia signing. It was totally fun, and I'm so glad we did it because, just for the two of us, it was fun to, go back to Paoli. We went back. We went to the battlefield. Carol's right. It's a very, quiet, peaceful place. We were never there growing up. We had no idea it even existed.
Tracey had never been there before last month.
We've been to Valley Forge 1,000,001 times. If you grew up in that area, Valley Forge is where you go to, throw a football around, or, have a picnic at school. It's historic, yeah, but it's not, Valley Forge, it's just, whatever.
Oh, please. You used to park in Valley Forge.
Yeah, we'll meet you at the Arch.
That's not what I'm talking about.
So it was great to go there, and we went to go for lunch at the Paoli Tavern, the former Paoli Tavern, which is now called what? The Whitehall Tavern?
White Horse
Tavern, but it's also in a Sheraton now, and it wasn't open.
They built a Sheraton here. It's still all there,
right?
And they've added on to the house that was the White Horse
around it.
Excuse me. They basically shoved Sheraton on top of it.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's all good, whatever. But anyway, it wasn't open. So where we ended up going for lunch was, and we didn't realize it at the time. Where was it?
The General Warren Inn.
The General Warren Inn was where the massacre was planned.
We were in enemy territory.
We were totally in enemy territory, but
we had amazing turkey and brie sandwiches.
I know
in enemy
territory. So yeah, but it was cool. It's very it's kind of a place where your grandma takes you, for nice ladies lunch out, whatever.
Yeah, I don't even think your grandma takes you. I think your grandma takes herself and her friends.
No, she takes you for your your 11th birthday.
It's a very small little mainline Philadelphia little house that's
right.
But they apparently they planned the massacre there, and what were they saying about they kidnapped a shopkeeper, I forget who he was, who knew, or maybe he was just the guy who ran the bar, the tavern, and they got information, they squeezed dirt out of him, and that's where they planned everything. So it was kind of neat. I think fate ended us up there anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, we went to Philadelphia that night, saw Diana, got hugs.
We pre-gamed a little bit. That was kind of fun. Met Becca from That's Normal, which was a lot of fun. Saw Erin.
Saw Erin.
And so we met Diana. We saw her. We knew better. Now you guys remember Virginia, Fairfax, and y'all remember how we were in the front row of her talk, and we were when people started leaving, we'll be oh, we'll just wait. We'll just wait. We'll let the crowd go by, whatever. And we finally got our book signed. We were the last people at 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
We were that's not happening this time. So we sat in the back because we've heard the speech before. I think on the other video I actually did the little limerick, and I won't do it now because I think Kaylin's in the room.
That's all right.
Is she in the room? Oh, the whole jocks and cocks and socks and whatever. Anywho, we were.
Let me just interrupt you for a second. It's really funny after you've seen Diana Gabaldon a few times. It's you're almost lip syncing, you're mouthing what she's saying, or saying it before she's even saying it when she's talking about Doctor Who and the
fetching kilts.
The kilt. Tracey, you just cut me off. Thank you. Never mind.
Wait, I have to do it because I think I can. In days of old, when knights were bold, and condoms not invented, the knights wore socks around their cocks, and babies were prevented. There you go. What? Oh, sorry.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, so we know the speech by now. And
I was going to say was that it turns into you're a kid again, out to see Raiders of the Lost Ark for the 10th time, and you're just saying it all before she even says it. And you're she said it! She said the fetching part!
But what was really funny, too, was, so we were we're sitting in the back, and we're getting in that line toot sweet. So clearly, other people had been in line for 5 hours as well at some other point in time. Because, long round, 45 minutes in, half hour in, people start leaving. To the point where she was she said something. She was you don't have to leave, or I'll be signing, or I'll sign everything, whatever. But we were yeah, we know that, but we're going to go get in line. So we got in line.
We went out, we met her, we got our book signed, we thanked her,
she knows us now, which is good.
We told her that we had never even learned about Paoli before she mentioned a little blurb in Echo, and then I went back and researched, so that was pretty cool.
She signed Remember Paoli in our books, which was really cool. And that was it. Are you showing it?
Of course I'm showing it.
Well, she put something else in yours, and I don't remember. I don't know what it is. We couldn't really figure it out. There you go. Remember Paoli.
All right. So anyway, moving right along because I have.
All right. So it was awesome. It was great. What else? Anything else from that?
No, I want to talk Moby.
Okay. So Moby. So we've started. We're taking our time about it, you all. I'm getting hot.
I've taken my time about it more than you have. And I've blogged a couple times, so check out the blog if you haven't seen the blog posts. And I've been getting comments about how I've been kind of like no holds barred this time around. I'm just having so much fun with it. I can't help it. I'm not worrying. I'm not worrying about what comes out of my mouth. I'm not worried about how anyone's going to take it. It used to be like 4 of us out there, and now it's like 5 million of us out there. It's like when they tried to catch the shark in Jaws, and there were 5 million votes out there. That's how it is with Outlander blogs and sites now. So I'm just saying whatever comes to mind as I'm reading and having a sick, fun time with it.
And I think that it is a sick, fun book. Let's just say that right now.
It totally is. It totally is. You know what's so funny is that I got to part 2, and don't forget, people, spoilers. I got to part 2, and it was the very beginning of it, and the very beginning of the stuff with Roger, and I was like, I don't know if I really feel like reading about Roger right now.
I know.
And now I'm at the end of part 2, and I don't want it to end because I'm like, oh no.
I know.
We're going to go back to Claire and Jamie. I want to stay with Roger.
Okay, here's the thing. Part one was like, I'm back with my old friends. It was like, I, went back to, it was like a college weekend with my old college friends. It was totally fun. Like, it wasn't, page turner or whatever. It was just, like, did you think that? Like, I wasn't sitting there like, oh my God, I have to keep going, whatever. It was just fun.
As Shannon usually says, and she didn't say it about this, but she has said it about Diana Gabaldon before, it's like your favorite chair that you like to curl up in and read your book and put on your slippers and have your hot toddy.
Yep. It was fun. And the thing is, it was so funny. Like, I'm into part 3 now. I think I'm like 40% through, something like that. And if it keeps up, this is by far her funniest book. Well,
I think Henry already said that last week.
Yeah. God bless Jenny. Jenny is like, seriously, she's like Jack Hay on 227. She's like the crazy neighbor. She's like, oh Claire. She's like the crazy neighbor. I'm telling you. Who pops out with like the witty, funny comment and like gets all the laughs.
Okay, so I have my first 2 blog posts up. So let's just go over a couple of the stuff.
Okay,
a couple of the stuff.
Oh wait, but can I interject one thing?
What?
But anyway, that's part 1, and Carol's right. Part 2, you're like, oh, Roger and Bree. Okay, well, yeah, we have to go back and see what they're doing. And 20 pages into part 2, you're like this. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Ugh. Like, who would have thought that the Roger and Bree stuff is the stuff that, like, you can't tear yourself away from?
I couldn't sleep last night. I woke up at 3 a.m, tossing and turning and dreaming about Roger and Buck. And I had to start reading. I have so much to say about that. But let's really quick, I'm just sort of going over stuff that I read. Did you like my my comparison of Willie's life to The Help? You is tall, you is rich, you is important.
You guys.
My point was that he has been told his entire life that he is special. He's the Earl of Ellesmere. And now all of a sudden he's a big fat nobody.
He's bastard too.
Bastard. See, this is what I'm saying. So he's like, all of a sudden he's no one. And he's totally clueless. And I really feel for him. I have a lot of empathy for him. And you're not really a big fan, are you?
No. I hate to say it, you guys, but Willie's not floating my boat. I don't know. Maybe it gets better. I do like that he's so, like, the anti-Jamie. Like, even though he has, like, the Jamie, blood running through his veins, he's just kind of, like, really awkward. He's really, like... I loved more than life itself when Jamie like pulls him off of the road or wherever, like pulls him into a bush and he's like, "This is how it's gonna be, bitch. Like do this or I'm gonna kill you." Like I love that.
I love the whole nature versus nurture situation with William. He was raised by Lord John, but he's Jamie Fraser's son. Like. But he's
not. That's what I'm saying. Like he's his own person, and there's like elements of Jamie in him.
Right.
But like Jamie's kind of. I mean, Jamie's not perfect, but Jamie kind of can get himself out of any situation. Willie Willie is like...
He's a spoiled brat.
He's a spoiled brat, but he's not very, like, good at getting himself out of bad situations.
Right, but I don't blame him for that.
Oh, I don't blame him for that either. I just don't...
I think that if he had been raised by Jamie, he would be a lot better about it. But he wasn't. He was raised by Lord John, and Lord John is very proper. Think about Lord John when we first met him when he was 16. You know what I mean? Like, he's got elements of Lord John in him, too. Like, he's polished, but he doesn't have all the common sense.
Yeah, that's probably... I mean, I don't think it's Lord John. Lord John could get himself out of situations. Lord John has gotten himself out of situations. William is just kind of clumsy.
Did Lord John get himself out of the kidnapping situation when he was about to be killed?
He did.
They helped him escape.
What? He got himself out of the situation. I mean, he's like... The situation he's in now is...
Wouldn't you say that Denny and Dottie got him out of the situation?
Yeah, but he was smart enough to be like, oh my God, that's Denny and Dottie. Like, let me sing this German song so they'll know who I am. William would have just been like, you know, or William would have like thought of some other plan that was ridiculous.
I can't have a problem with him for a lot of this stuff. I just feel too much empathy for him because it's almost like, I shouldn't go there.
What?
I was going to say like John F. Kennedy Jr. I always said to people, don't blame him for the fact that he was born into that family.
Did you just compare William to John F. Kennedy Jr.?
I know, right? It's ridiculous.
There is not enough margarita on the planet to make me forget that comparison.
Yeah, but you know what? How many times have people questioned his moves that weren't very bright? I hate to say it, in the final hours of his life. I mean, and I always said, leave that guy alone. He was born into privilege, and my God, I'm just reciting the movie Ever After all over the place. He was born to privilege, and with that comes specific obligations. So all I'm saying is I just cannot hold William... Not that I can't hold him accountable or responsible, but I just don't look down on him the way you do for not being able to get himself out of all these situations all the time, because I don't think he was properly taught, and he wasn't... I wish we could know, like, that parallel life, like that movie Sliding Doors where you got to see Gwyneth Paltrow in this life. I wish we could see what Willie would have been had he been raised by Jamie. Done. Let's move on.
No, I just have to interject. I mean, you could see, because even, like, when he was younger, he was kind of bratty then, too. Remember when he, like, was, like, 12 when they went to visit him?
He was a total brat.
Yeah.
That's because he was a pompous English prick.
He just hasn't, like, you know, the William stuff comes and it takes me 3 nights to finish a William chapter. And I find myself falling asleep in a William chapter. He has not won me over yet. Maybe he will, but he's
has the thought of Ian and Rachel eventually
bow chicka bow bow.
Has that won you over?
Yes, that is something that yes.
I feel like this entire book is like foreplay, and she's just working up to.
Oh my God, let's just put it this way though. Like, if they pull a frickin' what the hell is that book that I hate that you love? With the vampire, he's like, no, let's just cuddle.
I would not say I loved it. Discovery of Witches?
Yes.
I liked the first book. I hated the second.
Diana ain't gonna pull that shit on me. No.
What'd you say?
I said, Diana ain't gonna pull that shit.
Oh, no. No, even she made fun of Discovery of Witches.
I know.
And then Deborah Harkness tried to go back and fix it in the second one and kind of skimmed over. I'm not even going to get into that.
Yeah.
The third one just came out too. I'll give it a try, but I'm not all that hopeful. Anyway.
Okay. So, all right. So part 1, good friends. Part 2, action. Go.
Okay, now I'm still in part 1. Jamie, right. I enjoyed the stuff with his back being out and him being laid up.
That was totally funny. Yes, agreed.
That was totally good. Who else?
Well,
enjoying the Philadelphia stuff from part 1. Tracey and I both know a lot of these places, and things that they're mentioning. They're mentioning certain people's names. I cracked up at Woodbine. I was like, hey, Woodbine Avenue. What?
Wait, okay. So, reading, right? And they're, like, meeting up at Matson's Ford. And I'm like, Matson's Ford? Why is that familiar? Oh, my God. Like, have we been there? Do we know?
You didn't figure that out,
our
right?
high school, Archbishop Carroll, is on Matson Ford Road.
Okay, the second I saw Matson's Ford,
no, it took me a minute.
Archbishop Carroll, Matson Ford Road.
Matson Ford Road.
So, I had to Google that. It was kind of cool.
I was like, did Diana Gabaldon live under the stairs like Harry Potter in our house or something like that? Like this is just beginning to be like just too weird.
I know. All right, so wait. I don't want to get into another William discussion, but I do want to ask you this because this is something I posted. Have you ever noticed that Jamie, when he has been in William's company, has always treated him like he's always been fatherly to him? Right down to when William had Ian taken and Jamie pulled him aside and was like, you are going to get in there.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Jamie was like, okay, you're going to like do this or I'm going to kick your ass.
And again, that's why I always wish we could know what he would be like if Jamie had raised him. All right, moving on. Let me find. I've only blogged twice because I keep stopping and doing some like large blog posts.
Oh, wait, can we talk about the end of part 1?
I believe I said Jamie and Claire sitting in a tree. Kissing. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes stripping and potting shed.
I liked the stripping in the potting shed. It was awesome. It was very good.
How could you not?
Oh, of course I did. But it didn't have. This is going to be controversial. It didn't have the same like urgency. Like I don't know that it would make my top 10 of moments.
No.
It would not make my top 10 of moments. And the reason is that, like, in Voyager, we really didn't know, like, if they were going to meet up again. Like, we didn't know what was going to happen. I think that the whole, like, because we sort of knew that Jamie wasn't dead at the end of Echo, or in any of Echo, it made their reunion a little less significant, if that makes any sense.
A lot less,
yeah.
But that's not Diana's fault or anything. It's just the way we knew he wasn't dead.
Right. I mean, yeah.
The situation with Jamie running in and Claire finding out he's not dead, being in the room with Lord John getting dressed, that was more exciting than the potting shed.
Right. I mean, I liked their conversation in the garden. I thought it was really good, and they dealt with some issues. I think they talked about Mary McNabb and stuff.
It was very real.
Yeah, I liked that more than the potting shed. The potting shed was almost like, oh my God, this is going to be so controversial, I can't even stand it. But the potting shed was more like, yeah, right, we got to get this out of the way. So, they'll do it in the potting shed. Okay, cool. Like, okay.
All right,
I liked the conversation almost better. The potting shed, while good, not my top 10 moments.
Okay. I have to say something that we bring up in chat sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time with not the excitement, but these types of situations, these types of stories, when they're really disgusting and stink.
Oh, like when they're dirty?
I mean,
and not that kind of dirty?
I wished he would have jumped in the creek or something, in the creek. Just, Jamie, you go running over there and jump in the creek for a minute, and then we'll go to the potting shed. What I said was that the word fug isn't really synonymous with hot sex scene. I saw the word fug, and I love it, and it's so Diana Gabaldon, like signature, fug. But I was like, oh no!
Wait, was that word used, like, in the description?
I'm sure it was in that scene. The fug of the potting shed and them stinking. And I was just like, I know I'm supposed to be mature right now, but I just can't. I mean, he's been laid up at that woman's house, and he walked clear from Paoli to where the heck are they?
Wherever the garden is.
Which is 10 miles from Lord John's.
I guess.
It was 10 miles from 17th and Chestnut.
Right.
So they're at, like, Balakinwood or something.
Okay.
And, like, Tracey, imagine today if you did all that walking, then you
I know, really. I know.
I was just like, and you could sort of, like, suspend disbelief, but, like, she was talking about how bad they stunk. And I was like, oh, God.
That's an interesting topic of discussion. Is that the dirtiest they've ever been when they've done it?
I'm going with yes on that one.
I don't know. Turtle soup. I mean, like they've been on a boat for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, but I never got that feeling during turtle soup. It's distracting for me, and I was never distracted during turtle soup and biting the bird. I'll tell you what, I loved the scene in Voyager when he showed up clean shaven and bathed in the white.
I know, like in the room.
Oh, yeah. Hello. Yeah. Now we're talking. All right, anyway. All right, so moving on. Let me just look through this and see if there's anything I wanted to mention. Okay, so I'm on part 2, Rob Cameron. This was the part that I had posted about her keeping Rob Cameron in the hidey hole. Like,
oh, that was the best.
Like, what's his name in? I can't even speak. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. I said I hope Bree leaves him in her hiding hole for the entire book and makes him rub the lotion on his skin. Okay, so he's clearly out of the hidey hole. I got to tell you what is on my mind. Can I jump?
I'm through that part and into part 3. So go.
Okay, so last night I woke up and I was dreaming about it and I was tossing and turning and I was like, I can't stand it anymore. I have to go back over A Leaf on the Wind of All Hallows.
Uh-huh.
And so I whipped that out and I read through that at about 3 o'clock this morning. And
Can I back up for just a second?
Yeah.
Your reaction when Roger goes up to Lollybrock, knocks on the door, and he finds
and sees Brian frickin' Fraser. Man.
Yeah,
I know. Not only did I use a curse word, I used it in caps. I shouty capped the F word because I was I was in the salon. I was sitting in a chair with like foils in my head, flipping out.
I didn't see that coming like a mile. I didn't see it coming at all.
Oh my God, pure genius on Diana Gabaldon's part. How she... Okay, I was trying to blog post last night, and I was trying to find a video from... have you ever seen Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson and...
No.
Okay, Mel Gibson at the end, he's been programmed, so he's getting back chunks of real life, and he can't tell the difference between real life and what he was programmed to believe. So he's doing this at the end, like and that's how I feel right now with this book, and I'm loving it. And I every once in a while I stop and I go, how is Diana Gabaldon so freaking brilliant that she's able to keep track of all of this stuff?
I know.
So, but then I went back to Leaf on the Wind, and if you know the answer to this stuff, just tell me, keep reading, because. And I hope I can even remember it now. But some of it wasn't jiving. Like, oh, Lord John. Lord John! Okay, I just said Lord John. I didn't mean that. Scratch that. Just delete that, please. How many minutes are...
That's staying in. That's totally staying in.
How many minutes?
That's totally staying in.
Blackjack Randall!
I'm telling you, part 2 is like, can't put it down. Can't put it down.
Who's the guy in
Part 1 is all like, look, Jamie, Claire, Jenny, you're so funny. Part 2 was like, oh my God.
Who's the guy in Saturday Night Live that does the club kid? That is what I've been like through this entire arc.
Oh my God, I know.
Blackjack frickin' Randall, and it's only a couple years before.
I know, but he's all nice.
But I know. Roger's like, what the? So here's my deal. Blackjack Randall handed over to Brian, and then who handed it over to Roger, who brought them back, the dog tags. But I just went back. Did you go back to A Leaf on the Wind of All Hallows?
No. I don't think I have it. I think I have to... No, maybe I do.
Have you read it?
Oh, yeah. I read it in Barnes & Noble when it first came out.
Okay. You and Shannon both gave me the huh when I said Northumbria. And I was like, they were in Northumbria. And yeah. I thought it was like a lot earlier than the 1740s.
See, I thought so too.
I thought it was way earlier. Okay, but listen. So last night I'm reading this part about how this woman, some farmer's wife, has the dog tags. They are in Northumbria. They are in England. I don't know when, but this farmer's wife has the dog tags. How did that happen? So how did the dog tags then make it from her to Blackjack Randall? And like I said, don't say anything because I guess I'll find out or I won't.
Well, I don't know yet. I mean, maybe you find out. I don't know yet.
Okay, I'm so not trying to be like, Diana Gabaldon said this, but then she said this. I'm not doing that at all. I'm just questioning all over the place what's going on because I'm trying. That's just me. I'm like, whoa. I am totally. I can't help it. I just have to sit and pick stuff apart and get inside it. And when I'm waking up in the middle of the night, tossing and turning, I have to know. So that's why I went back and read Leaf on the Wind last night.
I need you to do that too.
And they were with him a farmer had him in the cow shed, and they pulled him out of there. And, he noticed that Roger's got has black hair and these bright green eyes, but he's kind of familiar, but he doesn't know why. And then when they take him to the stones, and right before he goes through the stones, Roger says, "I love you." And he's like, "Why is this guy telling me he loves me?" type of thing. And then he goes back through the stones, ends up back in England, and the guy who's where the wife used to live tells him where the wife's been, and he ends up in the tube station with the explosion where Roger lives and the parents don't. But the parents got to see each other one last time. Right. The mother handed Roger up to Jerry. Right. And so Jerry then falls, gets pushed, and gets his head cracked open. Mm-hmm. And Roger is taken away by two guys who are helping, rescuers, and then the whole thing caves in. But there's this really poignant little moment where you kind of assume they're ghosts, and Jerry sees Dolly, right. and they're going to be together forever in the next life. So my point is, what is going on with the damn dog tags? The rents are too damn high.
I need to read Leaf again because I've thought that like several times as I'm reading all of this stuff. Because somebody had a theory.
What are Roger and Buck doing in Northumbria?
Are we sure it's Buck in Leaf? Or is it some other guy?
Well, she never says it's Roger. Maybe it's not Roger. Maybe it's not Roger and Buck. But why would anybody else be telling Jerry that he loved him?
I read it again.
Those damn Mackenzies are time travelers extraordinaire.
I know, really.
It's crazy.
I gotta read that again. I gotta read it again. So what else? Because this is getting long here.
That was really it. I mean, there's a time part two. That whole scene outside Lollybrook where Bree is sitting there and poor Jem, man, he's going to be in a psycho ward by chapter 2.
I know. Are they really going back, you think?
Here's what Here's what I keep thinking is going to happen. Oh, God, I got to get this right. I think at this point, Jenny now remembers Roger. It's like a Back to the Future extravaganza. So right now, with every single person Roger meets, the future has been changed. At the end of Back to the Future when his parents are cool? So I'm like, oh my God, Jenny, here's my prediction. I think, and I've had a lot of ridiculous predictions, I think Jenny is going to all of a sudden go, wait a minute, and just remember Roger and be like, and they're going to talk about them or something, and she's going to have a memory and say, oh my God, he was there. He was looking for his son, Jem. I think that's how Roger's going to know to go back, because I think, no, that doesn't make sense, though, because what I was going to say was that they will write another one of their letters, or maybe they'll see, Bree is ready to go back through the stones now with Jem and Mandy. Right. But she's going to go back to Jamie and Claire. But she doesn't know Jamie and Claire are in Philadelphia. Does she? Have they been? Oh, yeah.
She probably does because of the letters.
Because of the letters. So she's going to go, Bree and Mandy and Jem are going to go to Philadelphia.
Does she know that they thought Jamie was dead and Claire was married to Lord John for a while?
Well, the only thing is that she said that when they were looking for Jem, they tore through all the letters.
Oh, now I got to talk about that because that's something like to me it was just really odd because in the last book we're savoring them, being like they tore through all the letters and they didn't find anything. But what did they find?
I know. Wasn't there a letter we were waiting for her to
why did they why did they stop writing the letters? they must have stopped writing the letters because one of them died or something. I don't know. They know what happens. Isn't that important? Like, doesn't anybody care? Doesn't anybody remember laughter? Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, that's not like something that you just throw away. Like, we tore through the letters and we didn't find anything. But what did you find?
I know. I don't mind me. I'm looking for a picture. I don't know. And wasn't there a letter that we were waiting for her to read? And then she was all in echo. She was all, oh, well, we're just taking it slowly. Although I must drive people nuts like that with blog posts because I'm like, I'm just taking Moby slowly. But she was like, yeah, I don't read them all. You know, I read them once a year or something like that. But wasn't there one that we really wanted her to see? Did I make that up in my head?
Well, no. I mean, they were writing the letters. I think they were writing the letters before. When were they writing the letters? Was it before they thought Jamie was dead, or was it after? Because they were writing the letters when Claire was writing that book, I think. Remember Claire was writing a book. I remember Jamie was writing a book for Jem.
Okay.
Like stories, or I don't even remember what. But it was more like, yeah, then we went to the grocery store, and then we canned some jam, and then we did that. Like, there was no real, this is happening.
We went to the grocery store.
Whatever. That to me, like, I was just like, no, back up. Because you can't just be like, we tore through the letters and, like, nothing was there. Bye. Like.
Bye. Okay, wait. I want something else that I have to say.
What?
I haven't really let any of the Starz stuff affect me at all with the show coming out.
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about that yet. Okay.
As far as Moby goes, I really have just been like, okay, it hasn't fazed me.
Uh-huh.
Except for one thing. And this is pretty huge.
Do I need to get more?
It is changing. Oh, I don't know what to do because I'm out. I gotta go find more. It is changing how I look at something, and it's freaking me out because we're talking about the past almost 5 years. 5 years, anyway. The past 5 years of me feeling one way about a certain character in these books. Mm-hmm. And then two things. Number one, I read A Leaf on the Wind of All Hallows. And number two,
so wait, you're more sympathetic to Blackjack Randall?
Yeah.
Somebody posted a picture, by the way, that was like the best picture I've ever seen of him. And of course I don't remember where the hell I saw it.
All right. We'll find that. But here's my deal. It's not just Blackjack Randall. Obviously, it's Frank. Because last night I came across the letter that Bree found that Frank wrote to her.
Okay. I remember that.
And everybody being after the gold, and he's like warning her, everyone's going to be after you. Had I read that letter before Tobias Menzies was cast, and I'm not somebody who at all lets actors, affect me when it comes to a book series at all.
Uh-huh.
But I think maybe that now that I can put a face, I don't know. All of a sudden, that letter, if I read that letter 2 years ago, I would have been on chat going off on Frank. Now, because of this guy, I read that letter and I felt bad for Frank. And here's Frank saying, I know all about Jamie Fraser and I'm not going to tell you. And yet, I was like, I don't blame him, Frank, I don't blame you. Poor thing, you're misunderstood. I swear to God. And between that, Blackjack Randall being somewhat nice.
I know.
Roger, like Roger was like, well, maybe if we did this, and Blackjack Randall's like, all right, well, let me tell them. And he jumps up and goes and tells the guy at the door, go and get blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, he's being helpful. I swear to God, like, I'm my brain, I'm back to Mel Gibson in conspiracy theory. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. What?
I don't know. It hasn't. I haven't made as much of a connection like between the actors. Like I'm not reading the book thinking of the actors at all.
I'm not at all either, except for I don't know. I never was able to place Frank. I always had Blackjack Randall as Jason Isaacs in my head, but I never, or is it Isaac? Is there an S on the end of that? But I never had a Frank. And now I have a Frank, and I love Tobias Menzies, so now I'm screwed because now I like Frank. And like I said, I will say this, during Leaf on the Wind, because Frank went to visit Dottie and Roger. Not Dottie, Dolly and Roger. Like, I know.
What?
Frank went to visit Dolly and Roger, and I did warm up to him with that. I was like, he is a sweetheart for doing this. But that was it. But now I'm just totally conflicted. I read that letter that he wrote to Bree, and I didn't hate him one bit.
I've never hated Frank, so like maybe that's where I'm at too with that. Like I've always felt like he's a little douchey, but like in terms of
just a little. He's just a little.
He's mostly just misunderstood, and like I don't blame him for reacting the way he did. I don't blame him. Yeah, he shouldn't cheat on Claire, and I do think he cheated on Claire.
I don't know, but
I totally do. I mean, I totally do. But I also think that it was really hard. It was a really hard situation for him, and that Claire was probably not easy to be with.
No,
and
not at all. She hated him. She didn't hate him, but she wasn't
right to the point where it's like, I'm kind of done trying.
Right.
I'm doing this because I have to do it, and because I'd be incredibly douchey if I didn't do it. But like, I'm sorry, I'm only human, and like, I can't live with this like Brick sitting here like treating me like terribly.
Except for when Bree is a baby.
And it's, I don't know. It's wrong. No. Is it wrong for him? Let's put it this way. It's wrong for Frank to cheat on Claire if he is agreeing to stay with her. Like, that's what I would say. I would say,
I don't know about that, though, because in this time period, he's agreeing to stay with her to save her reputation, and he's being gentlemanly. But if she's not showing him one bit of affection, it's almost like, does she really care? Did she ever tell him she cared? Did she ever even say anything to him about it?
Right.
Did she truly care?
Right. I don't know. It's just
I always had a problem with the fact that he didn't tell her once he found out Jamie Fraser was still alive. And I totally understood. It was like, hey, this is my daughter, and tough shit. You lost her. I have her now. Mm-hmm. But that would eat away at me, and I'd have to tell. What would you do? Would you tell? I'd have to tell.
I don't know. I could see both ways. I don't know what I would do, but I can understand doing it, and I can understand not doing it. And that's not wishy-washy. I don't know what it is.
No, it's Diana Gabaldon fans are wishy-washy because you have to be, because it just messes with your brain. It's like spaghetti in there.
I know. All right, we need to move this along because it's like almost an hour in, and we haven't even talked about the TV show yet that is starting in less than a month.
August 2nd now.
Yeah, I don't get that. Like, I don't think it's going to actually be on the Starz, like, scheduled on Starz, but I bet you it'll be on demand.
They're doing a preview. They did the same thing with Penny Dreadful on Showtime.
So we can watch it like 7,000 times.
I watched Penny Dreadful, the premiere, a week before it premiered.
Well, we know we're going to see it at least once before that. Yeah, let's talk. I have to tell this story because it's a pretty good story. And first of all, Carla, props to Carla, because we would still be like this. Oh, what? Like, event in New York, really? So Carol and I had a big family reunion this past week. That was like in Carol's town, and Carol hosted a lot of
house.
Well, I mean, not a lot of people stayed at your house, like our immediate family, whatever.
Yeah,
it was at Carol's house.
Night at my house.
So whatever. So I was in. So it was one of those deals where like people are sleeping in every corner, sort of like when they're at Joe Costa's wedding. And so I was sleeping in the top bunk of Carol's son Ian's bed, and people went to bed, and I wasn't that tired, so I was like, all right, I'll watch True Blood on my iPad. So we watched the True Blood, which is put that out of its misery. But anyway, so it's like 1:45. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm tired, whatever. But I'm just gonna go on Facebook and whatever. And I see this thing that's like from Carla. That's like, I'm so excited. I got a ticket to the New York event. Like, I can't wait. It's my favorite author. I'm so excited about the series, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, I click on the link. The 92nd Street Y, which for those of you who don't live in New York, 92nd Street Y is like, it's a really famous YMCA, YWCA, whatever. They do a lot of like programs, speakers, whatever. They are doing an event that's basically, sounds to me like pretty much the same event that's happening at San Diego Comic-Con. Only it's not going to cost Carol and I like $1,200 to get there.
Not that we're not trying.
Not that we're not trying, but so I was like, oh my God, are there any tickets left? And I'm like clicking. I see that there's 2 tickets left. So I literally like got out of the bed, climbed down the ladder, grabbed my wallet, went into the bathroom so I wouldn't wake anybody up, and ordered us tickets in the bathroom at Carol's house. So Carol and I will be, we can confirm, we will be at the 92nd Street Y event on July 28th. So, look for us there, y'all.
And it's my life stream to somehow record Tobias Menzies saying, "My Outlander Purgatory," in that voice of his. I just want to hear Purgatory.
It's going to be Diana. It's going to be Ron Moore. It's going to be Sam. It's going to be Katrina. And it's going to be Tobias. And I don't know if there's going to be anybody else, but it's going to be awesome is what it's going to be. So what else?
That's it. I think
that's the 28th, and I know that San Diego thing is the 25th, which is a Friday. It's the red carpet premiere, which is totally exciting.
Still trying to get there if we can do it. The airfare is a little tough, and there are no hotels available in San Diego because it's Comic-Con. So, but that doesn't rule us out. So you never know.
Yeah. Are you like now that it's here? Like, okay, are you going to, well, clearly you're going to watch the show before it airs because we're going to see it on the 28th, but, like, will you watch it? Part of me is like, oh, really? Like, they're going to water down, like, the premiere and whatever. But part of me is like, okay, I'm glad I can watch it, like, 13 times.
Hang on, stay there. I'll be right back.
Are you still listening? I guess not. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but she doesn't need to know this. I'm glad I can watch it a lot so that when we actually do, like, have the real premiere, and we do whatever it is that we do after the premiere, we can sort of, I don't have to focus on the premiere, and I don't have to be like, shut up, everybody who's here, at my house or wherever I am that I watch it.
Yeah.
I will have already had that experience of, like, holding Carol's hand and just being like,
I think I want to have a party during the regular premiere date. What is that, the 9th?
Yeah.
And then that way I can tape it on the 2nd and watch it like 50 times.
Right.
So that on the 9th, I'll have a bunch of people over to watch it and I won't be all...
Carol, we should really figure out, like, I mean, it's a Saturday night. We really should, like, either you come up here or I go down there. Or
I have a lot of people around here who will want to see it.
I have a lot of people around here, too, that want to see it. We'll have to have a lot of simulcast.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing, and you may not even know this, but now we need to comment on this. They're splitting the season. You know that, right?
Oh, I just found that.
That's like news. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Not thrilled. You know what, Tracy? That goes along with every other series I watch, and I am quite a television hoe. And I am miserable about it. So now I'm hearing like have they only filmed the 8 episodes?
No, they filmed. I mean, I'm guessing that they're probably like close to like 12, 13, something like that.
I thought, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I read they're not even going to be finished filming all 16 until September.
This September. Oh yeah, I can believe that.
So I thought they were finished 16. And then somebody was commenting about like Walking Dead and Breaking Bad. Like it's exactly what they do, the way they split the seasons. And then we're all left hanging and dangling.
I just don't understand why it's not like season 1 and season 2.
I think it's just disappointing that we were expecting 16 consecutive episodes and now we're getting 8.
I'm actually not. I'm not too bad with it. I'm actually okay with it. I mean, again, we get to take our time about it. If it kept going, it would then get into like holiday season. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't. It's going to go to like September 25th, I think.
So what are they talking?
If it kept going, it would be like over the holidays.
August and September, and then not again until like May?
No. Like January, February, something like that.
Oh, so it's just taking a hiatus.
Yeah. So I'm all right with it. If we had to wait another year to get the second 8, I would not be happy with that.
So if this is going to be like a February thing, I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
thrilled.
It's going to be like Survivor or Amazing Race, whatever, where they like start it. They have a season in September and then a season in like February, but it's really like the same year. You know what I mean?
Right.
The same TV season, whatever.
Right.
So I'm all right with it. It makes it last. You know, we're taking our time about it, like I said.
Gotta make it last.
Make it last. Jamie knows how to make it last.
Oh God! Now it's time to turn this off.
What?
I said it's time to turn this off if we're talking about making it last. All right. Anyway,
I don't know if we have anything more to say, and we're well into an hour here.
Yeah, I will be posting in the next day or so one of my posts about part 2, about the section I'm in part 2. I should be finished. I don't have my Kindle. I should be finished part 2, possibly today, because I think I don't know. I just know that I only have a couple more chapters left. And it's so funny. Some of the chapters are like this long, and then some of them are like this.
I think the part 2, like the Bree and Roger stuff, is shorter chapters. Part 1 was a lot longer chapters. Part 1 would go on for a while.
Right. I just don't know. I was so in love with part 1 with all the Philadelphia stuff, and obviously Jamie and Claire and Ian. And then I get to part 2, and now I'm so in love with part 2 that I don't want to leave Bree and Roger and go back to part 1. And I'm very interested to find out, you know, how Leaf on the Wind of Valhalla is going to jive with Moby. But I am being cool, and I'm just going to continue to read on. This is why I wore Suze's shirt that she made for us. Keep calm
and read Gabaldon.
I
have my Scottsdale shirt on.
What?
I said I have my Scottsdale shirt on. So, there you go.
That is what I'm going to do, is keep calm. And Tracey, what do you always tell me?
Trust in Gabaldon.
Yep. And just keep reading. So I'm going to trust. That's it. Over and out.
So we will see you guys soon. We will. I'm sure we'll be making a video after the event on the 28th. We're very psyched to see it. So look for us there. We're off to the side. I think we're in like the 10th row, but off to the side somewhere. And what else? Anything else?
No.
Next time we talk to you guys, we will have seen the show. We'll have to cancel chat that night because it's Monday.
Oh, crap. Okay. Maybe we'll do chat from there.
Oh, my God. We totally could.
We totally could. And for anybody who's been in chat lately, I'm once again shopping for new chat software because it's going too fast. Now that we have so many people coming to chat, it's too much. You know, I don't want to go back to the old chat software, so I'm just going to, don't worry, I'll figure it out. All right, anyway, bye.
All right, you guys, have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.